Hi, this is an introductory video. We're going to introduce the course to you, and we're also going to introduce several aspects related to the course, the kinds of assignments that you're going to be doing. Also, let me just introduce myself for a second. My name is Chad Mauldin, Chadwick Mauldin if you want the full name, but Chad Mauldin is fine. That's what I go by. I've been married 20 years, have 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. I'm the Minister of Discipleship at First Baptist Church, Liberty City, and of course, I teach classes here as well. And so glad to be with you and excited to be with you. Educationally, I studied at the undergraduate level and the graduate level, my master's degree, received degrees in theology from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, both undergraduate and graduate. I'm doing my PhD dissertation right now with the Free University of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And so maybe since I'm still finishing up my studies, that will inspire in me a certain amount of empathy for you guys. And so that's good news for you. Okay. So anyway, that takes care of who I am. I'll put some more information in the little threads that you see there for introducing yourself, which you guys need to do. I'll go ahead and post my email address and so on and so forth. And that way you'll know how to get a hold of me, and that way we can be in communication as we go here. Well, let's talk a little bit about what this course is like. It's a 5-week course, and that means it's accelerated. Okay, a traditional course, spring and fall, as you guys know, is 15 weeks. You meet twice a week for an hour and 20 minutes. For 15 weeks, we're going to put all of that, condense all of that into 5 weeks. So there's good news to that, and there's a challenging aspect to that. The good news is you're done in 5 weeks, right? The challenging part is that that's a lot of work, and so you guys are going to have to work through a lot of material there, but I know you're up to the task, and I'll be here to help you however I can. Also, too, this course is going to cover 4 units of study, 4 topics, if you will. The first is hermeneutics, which is the science of biblical interpretation, and that will be a big chunk of what we're looking at here. The second unit of study will be worldview, a philosophical discipline there, and we'll look more at what that means when we get to that part. Then we'll have theology, which is the study of God, and really more to the point, the study of doctrines related to the Christian religion. We'll have a section or a unit on that. And finally, you'll have a unit on ethics, which is another philosophical discipline. Those 4 units of study make up all the content that we'll cover here in this course, and we'll spread it out over 5 weeks. So each week represents 3 weeks in a traditional semester. Okay, well, let's look at the kinds of assignments that you'll be covering in this course. First of all, you're going to have devotions in each week. You'll notice in Blackboard that each week has its own folder, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And within that folder is everything that you'll have to do for that week. And there's due dates for all these assignments, so please pay attention to that. Make sure you get them turned in a timely way. And so anyway, so all of that stuff will be there. One of the things that will be in each of these weeks is a devotion. I'll post a devotional thought, and you guys will respond to it each week. And you'll have a certain amount of points assigned to you for completing that assignment that'll contribute to your final grade. So what do we do about lectures? Now, there's a lot of different ways that people handle lectures. Professors, they will sometimes post their lectures in manuscript form or in an outline. I'll be posting mine in video. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that look like? A couple of things. One, you shouldn't only expect to find 1 lecture video per week. Why is that? Because each week represents 3 weeks or 6 lectures worth of material in a traditional semester. That's a lot of lectures, and so that's why you won't simply just find 1 lecture video in each week. It's a lot of material to go through, but it's something that we have to do in order to accelerate a course like this. Now, something else, don't get too worried. Each of these lectures will not be as long as they would be in the classroom. Why is that? The reason is because I don't have a class in front of me, and I always allow a certain amount of time in my lectures for students to ask questions and interact with the material and begin to distill the material and so on. Well, that component is removed from these videos. That simply is not a part of what we're doing in this video. So because of that, I'm able to plow through the material, and we get through the material a lot quicker. It's not nearly so long in video form as it would be in a traditional classroom. And so that's sort of the way those videos will work. Now, we of course do want to infuse that component, that question and thinking and distilling and all this sort of thing that we would normally get in the classroom during the lecture. We do want to still infuse that back into this course, even though it's an online course. The way we do that brings me to my next sort of activity or assignment that you'll have every week, and that's called the weekly interactive assessment. The weekly interactive assessment. What you're going to do is you're going to react to something from each of the lectures for that week. You're going to react to certain parts of that in that thread. When you click it, it'll have you open up a new thread for your weekly interactive assessments. You're going to be sort of interacting with the lecture material there in that part of your course each week. You're going to want to be thoughtful about it. You're going to want to do a little reading and thinking and make a good contribution there. And and of course, there's places for questions as well. So if you want to ask a question, like you really just need to know something, you're confused or you didn't understand something, you can email me, or notice in your folders there a place called Student Lounge. That's a place where you can post a question that I'll see it, but also your fellow students will see it, and we'll actually get more of a community, perhaps, response for some of these things. And so that'll be a great thing. And so that's how we sort of infuse that back into an online environment. So anyway, those weekly interactive assessments where you interact with the lecture will be an important part for you. Now notice this, I'm not going to just, in these lectures, just reiterate what you've already read for your reading assignments. I don't want to waste your time. I want you guys to get the most out of this course that you can. So what I'm going to do with my lectures is I'm going to try to expand and sort of explore some of the implications of what you've been looking at in your textbook and in your reading. And so the lectures will serve as a complement to your reading assignment. So please pay attention to that, because you'll need to make some thoughts known, create a discussion there with your weekly interactive assessments. Okay, what's next? You're going to have, of course, workbook assignments that go along with your textbook, Grasping God's Word. The hermeneutic section, you know, the science of biblical interpretation, that unit of studies, probably what we'll spend the most time on. And there'll be a number of assignments. You have a companion workbook that goes with your textbook. There's a number of assignments, workbook assignments, that are assigned to you. You'll notice them in the weeks there in your folder. So make sure you do that and turn those in. When you click the assignment, it'll take you to a thread. And you can either attach it as a document, or you can just type it into the text box there. Your choice. It makes no difference to me. But that's something you'll want to do. You're also going to have a number of writing assignments. First, it's going to be a historical cultural background paper. And this is where you take a book of the Bible. You guys are going to be writing a paper on a specific passage, but whenever you do something like that, you will learn more about this later in the lectures and in your reading. But you want to understand the cultural background behind the book that was written. And so this is an assignment where you'll actually do some research in that area, and you'll write a paper. You'll turn that in. So that's one of your writing assignments. So please pay attention to that. The place where you turn that in is right there in your folders. And so make sure you notice that. You'll do a word study paper. The instructions are there. You can link onto it there in your folder, and you can see some instructions. You'll need some tools, some biblical research tools, concordance, etc. All the information you need is there. And then finally, your exegetical paper is, well, it's not finally, finally for that unit of study for hermeneutics, you'll have the exegetical paper, which is your largest writing assignment for the semester. An exegetical paper is just a research paper of a certain kind. So all that you've learned in high school and your college career thus far about research papers will apply here. But there are some particular aspects to an exegetical research paper that are unique to this particular kind of assignment. So your textbook has a whole section on how to write an exegetical paper. It's very plain, very easy to understand. We've given you those page numbers in the syllabus and in your weekly folders there, so please read through that. That'll help you along. Don't put that off, because that's going to be a pretty good little assignment. Requires some good research on your part, interacting with good sources, so you're going to want to go ahead and start looking at that, making preparation for that. We only have 5 weeks. So there's that. You'll have a worldview paper that you prepare. This is based on your worldview lectures and the readings that you have associated with that, and so that'll be an assignment you want to pay attention to. When we get to the theology unit, we're going to sort of base our study on the statement of faith that LeTourneau has. Statement of faith is brief, succinct statements regarding what we believe or what someone believes about certain topics related to the Christian religion. So you have an assignment related to that where you sort of take biblical texts that validate these statements, and that's going to be something that you do for an assignment. So you want to turn that in. I'll also have some lectures associated with theology, systematic theology, that will help you perhaps maybe understand what's happening in that statement at a deeper level. And so those will be things that you want to pay attention to. And then finally, you have a positional paper. This is the ethics part of our study. I'll have some lectures on ethics. You'll have some reading, and that'll sort of culminate in you preparing this ethics paper. You'll pick a topic related to ethics. We've given you some options, and then you'll prepare that paper. And then, of course, no class would be complete without some tests, some exams. We'll have 2 in here. One fairly early on, I believe the second week, and then the last one there on the last week. Those tests are due by a certain time. You have to take them by a certain time. They're definitely not open books, so please, you want to make sure that you study hard and prepare for those tests. I'll make sure that you have some material to help you prepare. And when we do all of this, when we get done, at the end of the day, we've completed this course, and you guys will have been, you guys will be better for having done it. It is my conviction. It's going to be a lot of work, but it'll be good. 5 weeks will be done. We'll be glad we've done it. And so there you go. If you have any questions, email me. You'll notice that at first, not every lecture will be in all the folders immediately, because these lectures are being recorded sort of as we go through the course of the semester. And so don't get too excited if you get to the first week and there's all the lectures for the first week, and then you go over to week 4 and there's no lectures, and you think, yay, no lectures. No, they'll be there. So they're just not there at that moment. So anyway, I believe that covers everything. Talk to you guys a little bit later. Looking forward to getting to know you and looking at your work. I think it'll be an exciting time. Thanks.